Oh, you expect me to say something?
Oh yeah, well,
your show today, bro. You introducing it.
Mad. All right, since we won the game. Hello and welcome to the Free Movement Podcast, the podcast where three friends who had dreams of being
wrong thing. You're wrong thing. But it is what it is, man.
What are you wrong? Oh, sorry, the match report,
bro. There we go, bro.
Well, I wanted to throw it back, back to the days where we'll beat you like 8-2 and them things there. But anyway, welcome to the show. This is Kojo, the voice you hear right now. The unhappy voice you heard is KO. The ooh that you heard is the Dishiki, which is an Arsenal fan. We're gonna get there. But first we're gonna get started with the Winners Club. So from Views TV official.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm sorry, bro.
I'm muting myself. Hold on, I'm muting myself.
Oh boy, Cahill is stressed.
Listen, he gave me the floor. He gave me the floor. That voice
I've never seen Cahill like this before. I tell you that now.
Hey, listen, it's been years. Actually, no, I lie. It's not been years.
Don't worry, Cahill, man. We're gonna bring some life to the show, man. Don't worry. We're gonna revive you.
You can see Cahill's got no life left.
Don't worry, man. I'm here for you, my brother. I'm here.
That voice you hear is Semps from Views TV official. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm very good, actually. How are you?
Bro, I'm wonderful, man. Work was great. Lunch was great. Went out some beautiful dinner. My girl's making loads of chicken wings, so tonight's a beautiful night. I feel like I deserve it after watching my team go through a victory. How's your day been, bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Good. I had some popcorn earlier, and yeah, man, it's a sweet tooth because had a sweet victory yesterday. So yeah, man.
You know when you get hot popcorn in your mouth and you put your mouth, like your mouth goes like, it's a mad thing. The mad thing. But anyway, let's go to North London. Let's start with Abdi. I'll go to my co-host last because I feel like he just wants to just get some more air. Abdi, we'll talk about this later. How you doing, bro?
We'll talk about that later, bro. Say it right.
Oh, we'll talk about that later. We're gonna talk about this today, fam. How you doing, bro?
No, we'll talk about the way you say my name, bro. You said the podcast name wrong. We'll talk about that later. But yeah,
we'll talk about that later.
I was okay until last night, but I'm all right for it. I'm happy to be here.
I love that. Got to have you on for the first time, bro. And of course, from a dash of sports, the king of a dash of sports, actually, Dishiki Dash. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, I'm good. My expectations wasn't as high chested as some Arsenal fans, but it is what it is. We keep moving. There's more games to be played, and that's how it is, man. That's how it is.
Love that. Good energy. And we've got some message of support for Cahill. Trust the process. That's for you. Kojo and Semps, my brother. Shout out Wes. But I got to shout my boy, the co-host, the one and only, my bro from Yang, Guna, Cahill. How you doing, family?
That's how I'm doing. It's not even that I had the high expectations or anything like that. It's just the way we lost, bruv. Oh, and there's some players, some passengers in this team. Anyway, mute myself.
Do you want to start on that? We can start on the Arsenal.
If anybody here likes what Party's been doing recently, they need to exit stage left.
Damn,
they need to exit stage left.
I agree.
He's been
definitely went WizKid last couple of days, isn't it?
It's not even bruv, it's not even last couple of days. Ever since he's put on an Arsenal shirt, he's either been injured or he's been dead. I can't remember a game where he's actually absolutely taken control of that midfield. I can't remember one. And yesterday he was abysmal, like literally abysmal. He got outdone by Fred and McTominay. That's it. That's the whole conversation. That's the end of discussion. Fred and McTominay played better than Thomas Partey. A man that cost 45 million. All right, if you want to give him the full moniker, I apologize, Semps. I apologize. I don't want to have a fight with you. You scare me, bro. Your Twitter fingers are too much to handle, bro. But oh man, Thomas Partey was Aubameyang as well. Time to go, bro.
AFCON can't come soon enough, man.
No, AFCON. It's transfer window, transfer request. It's time to go, bro. We need a new striker. It is what it is, man. But anyway, Kojo.
You know what I'm requesting? I'm requesting for Daneo to scrap that song "Party Hard" quick time. It needs to be stricken off the charts. because I agree, man. Since Partey's come to Arsenal, we're not seeing anything close to what we was seeing Partey from Atleti. So yeah, he needs to buck up his ideas right now, right quick.
Can I ask, what do you think? What do you think that is? Do you think it's a case of maybe he's not found the right partner? Because I know Arsenal fans over the years have not had faith in your Xhakas, your El Nenes. Is he struggling to find the right partner that will complement him, or is he just like an individual?
Sometimes it takes that. You know, we've seen it in the past. We've seen defenders who need that right defensive partner. We've seen midfielders, central midfielders that need that, that right partner. So we won't know until that happens. But at the moment, I'm questioning his Ghanaianship. His citizenship of Ghana, I'm questioning it,
bro.
No, honestly,
bro. It was funny.
So I'm gonna say, like, he is one of the weakest, Ghanaians out there.
You know what's funny? By the 85th minute, it looked like he had too much fufu before, because he was gassed. He was about to go to sleep, bruv. It was embarrassing. How are you tied in the 80th minute? You're meant to be this box-to-box midfielder, and you're gassed in the 80th minute.
It was tough to watch yesterday. It was tough to watch.
I heard that.
Yeah, man, I'm calling him Frimpong. That's
finished.
Free me to the Dino.
Wow.
Oh my god. Oh my days, man.
No, I agree. I think I get what you're saying. He hasn't had like a proper partner. That's one reason, but a proper partner isn't the reason why he's giving the ball away. He's not tracking runners. He's not looking strong enough. And like, we bought this guy who we thought was a strong athlete, tactically secure, good on the ball, can progress the ball through the lines, and he's only showed that in like, I think maybe 1 or 2 games. I think against Man United last season. And then this season he's just been abysmal. Like, he hasn't been good at all. I have a little bit of sympathy for him because the way Arsenal play with the 4-2-3-1, it's just his job is to try and punch the ball through the lines, get the ball off the back four, and get it through the lines to someone like Odegaard or Smith Rowe, who are high up. And we don't play like that at all. We always go out through the sides to the fullbacks, and the centre backs are doing the role that we want from Partey. They get on the ball. They're the ones trying to play the ball through the lines and play the ball up, get the ball up the field. So we bypass him a lot. So he essentially becomes useless.
Bro, 5-yard passes though, man. Man was not making it yesterday. Losing the ball. He was doing that yesterday.
Was that down to the pressing of United, the Freds?
Nah. There was times he wasn't even pressing. I'm talking about 5-yard passes just in front of him, and he couldn't make it. No one was pressing him to be making those missed passes. I don't know, man.
The Man United press quite easy, actually. To be honest.
It's not just the passes though. It's the idea of Thomas Partey was that he's this defensive stalwart. Yes, he's not a DM of sorts, but you admired what he did at Atletico for his defensive ability, and the goals that he just let in. I mean, just the second, the Bruno Fernandes goal where he just didn't track Fred, and Fred then Fred plays a reverse pass in our box to Bruno Fernandes. It's like you can't make this shit up. We constantly berate Fred for not being Brazilian enough, and then he's making reverse passes like it's nothing against Arsenal. Oh man, I'm tired, man. It's honestly, let's just try and get some structure into this whole conversation. Honestly, okay.
Stress.
I'm stressed, bro. I'm stressed. I was expecting not perhaps a victory, but I thought that we could beat Manchester United on the day because they haven't been that good.
Then.
Okay, I was expecting. Okay. Boom. Fair enough. I was expecting a victory against Manchester United. I wouldn't say I was extremely confident or overconfident that this Arsenal team could get the victory, but I thought it could be done. This Manchester United side haven't been the best in form recently. They haven't scored a goal at home for how many games? Was it five games or something like that?
Something like that.
Bruno Fernandes hasn't been scoring. Like the whole bunch, that team is down. They haven't got a proper coach like Michael Carrick. Yes, Ragnick was in the stands, but we don't know how much of an influence he had on that side. So I was expecting a decent performance, but our midfield was completely. We had no midfield. Yes, we had El Neni. El Neni played as well as El Neni could, and that's not very good. I'm afraid that is. So I don't know what why he played. I don't understand why Lokonga didn't start that game. It felt very unfair to drop Lokonga in place of Elneny.
His comments afterwards, Arteta was like, you know, he trusted Elneny to play in that role, a more disciplined role, and experience, right? And the fact that because he had a good game against them the last time, so obviously he's put him in. He's put him in the team. You know what? Obviously, me and Semps, we spoke about this on my show, and you know, for me, my expectations was not high. I went in there with like a realistic stance, and also looking at the fact that what was going on with Manchester United. I reckon if we had you guys while Ollie was at the wheel, it would have been a different story. But
can we leave that phrase in the past now?
Hey, blame Rio, not me. But you know, the whole new manager coming in, you know, players are now going to be trying to impress. You know, there's a different lift in the stadium, so it was always going to be a tough ask. I feel like for me, in the grand scheme of things, 2-2. If we would have come away with that 2-2, it would have been like, yes, job well done. You know what I mean? It's just the way we concede that penalty, which is more disheartening for me, and it's just based on the naivety of some of the players and just the mistakes that we're seeing from, you know, inexperienced players. All in all, I didn't think we played that bad. I was actually quite happy with how we played, how we you know, we took our chances, you know, we conceded, we scored, you know, we tried to battle, you know. One thing that I will say is we just need to understand as Arsenal fans, whoever's watching or listening, we just need to accept where we are at the moment. We don't have those players. We don't have those magical players. And I was saying it to some of my mates. I was like, I wish we had the RVPs, the Sanchez's, just those guys that can create magical moments within this team that we've got now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, we need that, man. We need that.
Oh, yes, Kale, you're right. Oh, Kale, my guy. I've come to collect Arsenal tears.
I've come
I came to collect Arsenal's tears. Hey,
not my tears. My tears are in there.
Listen, I'll come for Dash, bro. Listen, I seen the way you're violating Semps on his journey home when Man United lost. I don't know who we lost to yet, but Semps, poor lad, was driving home. I watched the shows.
It was Liverpool. It was Liverpool.
Semps, poor lad had to drive all that way to watch that dead. And Dash had no mercy. So I ain't coming here with Arsenal playing well. You guys are shocking. We didn't have a manager and you couldn't beat us. We don't have a manager. We have no identity. Got no style of football. Yeah, of course, under Ollie, you potentially would have beaten us. But listen, I can't wait to play you guys with Ragnick's in charge because it's another 3 points. If you lost in, you're getting top 4 without a shocking manager and that dead team. Man's made a full song and dance on Partey for him to get bodied by Fred and McTominay. Man needs to head back to Atletico Madrid or Ghana, whichever he wants to do. He's not good enough for this Prem team. Man thought that he could play in a flipping low block at Atletico Madrid and get protected by all those men and come to the Prem. Not today, my brother. And Kale, as for
drink some water, man. Drink some water. Drink some water, bro.
Let him finish.
I'm drunk, nobody but G.
He's hydrated, bro.
Listen, and Kale, as for you, what did I tell you about your team being dead? I told you you're not finishing hide and six, my guy. When Leicester Man United pick up points, you'll be back to where you belong. You're going to be below Spurs come the end of this weekend. I can't believe it. Like, Spurs are going to be above you now.
I haven't even got to introduce him. Usmaan, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Listen, I just want you to see Kale's face because Kale is talking with chest that Arsenal coming top 4, and I can't believe it.
Wait. When did I ever speak with chest that Arsenal will come in top 4?
Oh, Kale, you're not coming top 4, my guy. You've been.
I never spoke with chest. I know, big man. I never claimed that Arsenal were guaranteed top 4. I said we're in the top 4. We're in the top 4 race.
No, but you said that you're in the top 4 race, and I took offense to that because I think.
Okay, cool. I can't tell you if it's your issue if you take offense to that. The simple fact is, I think this team is good enough to get top 4. It's what it is.
It's based on what though? Because like you got Aubameyang up front collecting 350 grand a week. he was one of Man United's best players 2 years ago. Apparently, he's better than Ronaldo up front. And 2 years later,
I don't know. He said that one.
But Bearmans was saying he's the best striker in the world 2 seasons ago, and he backed.
I don't know. He said that.
Not me.
Not me, bro.
Aubameyang's liking pictures of Cristiano Ronaldo. Your players are doing so in training. Your team is embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. And you couldn't beat us when we got carried. The guys haven't got coaching badges, and you couldn't beat us. Like what? Oh my God, Arsenal, man. The Arsenal fans are.
No, let's not make it seem like you lot had a field day, though. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, at 2-2, it could have easily got. You know, the game could have finished as a draw.
It's funny you say that because, firstly, I'll go to Semps for this one as well. Semps, obviously, overall, Fred had a good game overall. But within the first 10-15 minutes of the game, he was being Federico again.
He was doing his Fredalicious, Fredandinho, business. I don't know what he was on. I don't know if it was the occasion or what, but he wasn't moving right. But you know what? I'm not even looking to really focus on that aspect of Fred's game. I'll be real, because Fred has taken a lot of stick. I used to back him a lot, and then for me to even turn on him, that he must be going through a bad patch, and he's picked it up in these recent weeks, man. And what you need from Fred is just what he gives you in it, the energy, and just give it. But now we're getting forward, like you see him telling McTominay, do forward passes. He's getting in the box, he's getting assists. And yeah, man, like personally, I thought Fred was our man of the match. I'll be real. If Ronaldo didn't score them 2 goals, I thought Fred was the one. Fred was everywhere yesterday. And I personally think he's going to have a big part to play now in this team under Ralph, because he's got the energy. And we needed that yesterday. Like what Dash said, I'll be real, it wasn't an easy game. We had to work hard. As I said to you, man, there in Usman's group, Ronaldo got taken off yesterday because he was knackered. He was finished, tank empty. And you ain't really seen that. We ain't seen that in no game where Ronaldo's tank is empty like that. We had to work hard yesterday, man. And under Ralph, we're going to have to work even harder. So these players are going to have to get fitter. And players like Fred, players like Bruno Fernandes, we're going to need. And Bruno had a better game as well yesterday as well, man, I must say.
He did. So with that said, now, Usman, Ronaldo, I'm coming to you on purpose on this one because you, like me, we backed him. But more to the point, how influential, this is more of a basic question, but how influential is this guy to this team? Because at this point, people that are still doubting him from our own fan base are just having egg on their faces every single time.
I mean, look, I just think it's stupid that people are doubting him. How can you doubt greatness? Like, it's like people will hate you for whatever reason, and the reasoning why people are doubting Ronaldo is not because of him. For me personally, a lot of the issues surrounding Cristiano Ronaldo, the notion he doesn't press, is down to the fact that we don't have a clear identity and system. So these players aren't instructed to do a certain thing. For me, pressing isn't about running around like a headless chicken. Pressing is about being organized and being in shape and pressing cohesively as a unit. It's not about one man, i.e. Ronaldo, running and chasing the ball and chasing the goalkeeper and Bruno following him. And then, Rashford follows. That's 3 players. You don't press with 3 man. A 3-man press isn't a thing. You press with 6 man, and you press with the whole team. The back line has to push up. The midfield has to be contributing to closing down the angles. It's not just about Ronaldo. It's a complete issue in the system. So this notion that Ronaldo doesn't press, it's not a Ronaldo problem. It's the Man United problem. The team does not press. Prior to Ronaldo's arrival, Manchester United were not notoriously known for being a pressing team. If we were a prime Barcelona when Xavi, Iniesta and Co were winning the ball back in 5 seconds prior to Ronaldo's arrival, and then all of a sudden with this, then people would have a case. I don't understand where this myth is that we were pressing prior to his arrival, because for me that is just embarrassing. We never pressed under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, apart from moments in certain games or one obscure game like RB Leipzig, for example. In general, Ronaldo yesterday initiated 27 presses, so which is the most he's done all season. So it's a marked improvement. He's obviously aware of what people are saying about him. This guy pays attention. He's not Michael Jordan. Man pays attention, takes it personal. Like, do you know what I mean? This guy must have seen that, said, I'm gonna press. I'm gonna put in a shift, and I'm gonna bag 2 goals. That's what these guys do. These guys are a different breed of humans. We're not even close to their mentality. So for me, I understand why people criticize Ronaldo if that is the style of football that you want to uphold. However, you need to look at the sort of root of the issue, and the root of the issue isn't Ronaldo. The root of the issue is the players around him. For me, Rashford should be the one getting the criticism. He's a 24-year-old young lad, meant to be the peak of his powers, and he's strolling around the pitch. It's embarrassing. I've defended Rashford the other day, but Lord have mercy, who does he think he is? What is he doing? Like, I might have run more than Rashford up and down my room because I was stressing. Like, this guy wasn't doing anything. Like, he was just walking about, not attacking his man, not winning the ball back, not tracking back. Ronaldo literally ran more than Rashford yesterday. And I don't want to take a dig at Rashford, but that's what I'm saying. There's other players in the team not pulling their weight. It's easy to target Ronaldo because he's the main man, and I get it. But the job of a striker, give him service and he will score goals. Apparently 30 goals is not a good return for him. I don't understand what our fan base is on. Like, it's just...
Who said that? That is nonsense.
Bro, if he scores 30 goals, I don't care if he's not pressing. If he scores 35 goals for us, I don't care. He can crawl on the pitch if he wants to. If he's scoring 35 goals a season, like, why does it matter? The number 9, he just has to close the angles down. He doesn't have to necessarily run ahead like a headless chicken. Their job is to close the angles. The players around him have to suffocate the team in and actually coordinate the press. So for me, it's a coaching thing.
Let me just jump in there because I think this is something that we've seen from our fan base, though, is it, Usmaan, about work rate, and you see somebody that runs around like Cavani does, and automatically that seems to be the way that a striker is meant to play. Because Martial has suffered the same criticism that he doesn't work hard enough, and then people, and I'm pretty sure even yourself and Kojo have been on this train that, oh, look at Cavani. Cavani's running here. He's running here. And then it seems that, oh, he's working harder. But like you say, there's different players that move in different ways on the football pitch. And I think exactly what you're saying, Ronaldo, like what Jamie Carragher said, Ronaldo's never been that guy, and he's not going to be that guy now. But what we have to do is we have to adapt to him, and we have to play around him. But you can still press with Ronaldo in the team because, as you say, it's about pressing the spaces. It's not just about running around like a headless chicken. So I think Ronaldo definitely has a place in this team. As we can see, without his goals, we would be struggling, man. And we now literally, I think a lot of Arsenal fans that were worried yesterday were worried because we had Cristiano Ronaldo, and they were saying, he gets a chance, he will tuck it away. In their heads, they're thinking United ain't great, but they have got a Cristiano Ronaldo. And going forward, especially now under Ralph, he's going to be very, very, very important for us, I think, in the second half of this season. And it's funny enough, even more so than he has been already.
I want to ask the Arsenal fans something. So you guys spoke about Aubameyang earlier, very briefly, obviously just saying that he was done. Abdi.
Yes, mate.
How long has it been since Aubameyang started to show this decline, and why is it now that, oh, maybe it's not now, but why are Arsenal fans now feeling that it just might be time for him to go? I mean, he's been here, what, maybe 3-4 years now?
Yeah, he signed in Jan 2018, so he's been here a while now. When he came, obviously, he slapped goals. The guy's been slapping goals his whole career. He came to us, and then his record early on was sick, like amazing. And obviously, he literally carried us to winning the FA Cup that one year. I think the decline obviously started when the new contract came out. And then from there, obviously, we saw the performances as well. Like it was just literally going down and down and down as well, just the way we are. But I think I've had this debate on my podcast quite a lot as well. Everyone else is saying Aubameyang's finished, and it's hard to argue against. But I think there's a little bit of context that's missing. Like if you watch our team, we are a team that any striker would literally struggle to score because we literally create 1 or 2 chances for a striker in the whole game. We don't sustain possession upfield enough. We don't create many chances. We see the stats were way down. Last year we were like 17th for chances created. This year as well, we're like way down the bottom as well. What I can't deny about Aubameyang is the chances that he's missing. Like against Newcastle, he literally missed for like 2 centimeters. And then in this game again, like the few chances he does get, he's missing them as well. So Aubameyang has never been the type of striker to who's like an all-rounder. Like his game is about good movement in the box and finishing, and that's what he's been at since he's come to Arsenal as well. The fact that we don't create many chances makes, like, even since he's been here, especially from when Emery was about, like we've never been a chance creating, like a high chance creation team like Liverpool, for example. So the fact that he's scored so many goals since he's been here, since Emery really, and the fact that we don't create, it means that he's done so well. But I mean, now he's not scoring goals and he's not contributing to like build up, or he's a low touch centre forward. We're not keeping up. Every time we play the ball long to him, it's not sticking. The only thing he's doing right now is just pressing, and that's it. And then he fades towards the end of the game. So right now, the way we set up as a team, it's not really working for someone like Aubameyang, and we're not going to get anywhere if he continues this way. So the one thing he did provide was goals, and he's not doing that anymore. So I think we have to move away from someone like Aubameyang now. I think I wouldn't say he's finished, because I do feel like if he played in a team that was creating loads of chances, he'd be tucking them away, because he's a bit like, for example, Cavani, for example. Like, he's not someone who's going to get one chance to score. He's the type of player who had 4, 5, 6 chances in the game but score 2 or 3. And that's the same with Aubameyang. And I prefer that kind of forward as well. Someone who's going to get loads of chances but score a few goals. They will miss a lot of chances as well, but you'll get at the end of the season, he'll come out with 20, 30 goals. But Aubameyang right now, not scoring any goals. So the team is suffering. But yeah.
I think...
I was going to ask you, go on. Yeah.
I think why I say he's finished is because it's the type of chances he's receiving. I understand that we're not a team that creates many chances, but the types of chances that we create, like you mentioned, the Newcastle one, and the chance against De Gea, where he might have been offside, he might not have been offside. I'm not sure. It was quite close, and he was off.
He should have tucked it away though.
He should have tucked it away regardless. That's my point. He should have tucked it away regardless. And the decision not to square it to Tavares when Tavares was bombing down on goals, or that it's those decisions that irk me. You say he presses as well. Does he press well? I mean, we look. That's the problem. I think he falls into the category of running around like a headless chicken in order to try and win the ball back. Lacazette is a much better presser than Aubameyang, but I still wouldn't trust Lacazette. That's our problem. We don't have a good enough striker to get where we want to be, or to win these types of games. I just think that ever since that contract signing, his whole attitude's changed, and I don't understand why. The contract was a reward for his goals. He did win us the FA Cup, and he was amazing for the first few seasons that he was here. So I understood why we gave him the contract, but it's been downhill. I don't think and it makes no sense, because it's not like he's lost a yard of pace. He's still very quick. He knows how to finish. He was in Golden Boot races for the first 3 seasons that he was here, and for the first two and a half seasons that he was here. So I don't understand why it's gone so bad for him. Yes, you can make the argument that we don't create that many chances, but I think we're creating more chances than we were last season. And this season, he's just been super, super wasteful, and he's just been a passenger. He's just on the pitch, his head's down. He doesn't look confident. He doesn't add anything. He doesn't instill confidence in the players around him. And that's a problem, especially if you're captain. So for me, it's time for him to go. It's time for us to look at a younger model, maybe a Calvert-Lewin, maybe an Isak. I'm not sure, but
Dishiki.
Yeah.
Before you go off, I want to add something to that, and then we'll go to United and Carrick and the fullbacks as well. What they said, I want you to add Arteta to that, because Abdi made the point of the way you guys approach the game, and does it benefit him as well? So if he's losing his powers, does Arteta now have a duty, knowing that he's still his most potent scorer? Does he have a duty to find a different way for the team to play for his standards, or do you think you guys also kind of lack the quality to change the style to maybe try and find him in more of a poacher role?
It's a combination of both, the latter as well. At this present moment, we can't. It's not even a situation where we can get rid of him. He's on 350 bags per week, so there's no team that's going to take him right now. You know what I mean? So the
I can't believe
sacrifices, the
Wait,
sacrifice.
sorry to cut you, Dash, but when
Yeah.
Usman said that earlier, I thought he was bantering. I didn't
He's
realize
not
that's how
banter,
much it
bro.
was.
No,
No,
banner.
it
No
is
because
banner.
crazy.
KO said it to me earlier this week, and I was like, hold on, what are you
He's
talking
on,
about?
He's on that money. But what I would disagree, and this is obviously just based on my opinion and what I watch. I don't think it's a situation where he signed the contract and all of a sudden it's like he's down in tools or he's not performing based on a contract. I just feel like at this present moment, as some players, when they get to a certain age, form kind of dwindles and goes. And the fact that, you know, there's younger players out there, they're running around, and like you said, he's running around like a headless chicken. He should be experienced enough to be able to put himself in a position where, all right, how is my football? How can this benefit me now, right now? How can I play which benefits me to get these goals? And he's getting the chances. Like we've mentioned some chances. The chance against Liverpool, those type of games, you might only get one chance in that game, and it's a tame shot. All these shots, he's lacking the hip flexors. I don't know, hamstring exercises or what he needs to do, but he's no longer that guy. And sometimes you have to accept the fact that there's players, they get to their end. And for me, it's since the back end of the FA Cup, win the trophy, he's just not been that guy. So just to quickly round it off in terms of like Arteta, maybe he has to try and find a way to get him involved in the game. But at the same time, if the player is not capable of doing it, then what else can you do?
But I wanted to ask you actually, Dash, is do you think though, because I'm pretty sure that in that period after the contract, Aubameyang was playing out on the left, like playing like way out of position, and you lot wasn't really functioning. As what Abdi was saying, you weren't creating any chances for him. I know you lot are saying he's getting chances now, but do you think that Arteta has, is partly to blame for what is happening to him?
Semps, the biggest myth about Aubameyang, when people say that, he's playing out on the left, he can't play there. That's his position. He's been most effective out there on the left.
For us,
then when it doesn't, for Arsenal, and then when it doesn't work.
But when you say the left, there's a difference on playing on the left, as in the way that Amane plays on the left, for example, or playing on the left where you're doing a lot of defensive work. Because I don't remember seeing Aubameyang in the days where he was fighting for Golden Boot. And again, you may educate me on this because you watch Arsenal week in and week out. But from what I remember, when he was fighting with Kane for Golden Boots, I don't remember seeing Aubameyang doing loads of tracking back in the left.
Aubameyang's always been like that. You'll find Aubameyang. It's like what you see with Ronaldo now. Obviously he tracks back, he's trying to get back there and stuff like that. Aubameyang has been doing that. What the myth is the fact that when it's not happening for him on the left, I'll put him central. When you put him central and he goes central and it don't work out for him, he needs to go out onto the left. At the moment, you just need to accept the fact that when a guy's gold dust is gone, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? It's done. Like at the end of the day, and like what Cahill says, sometimes I think we at that point now, we got to find that younger model. And with the team that we got right now, I wish the scouting mission, whoever, Edu and their man there, please go and find like a RVPS, Sanchez, them self-sufficient type of strikers. Like, because right now, creatively, we're not getting the ball to our strikers.
Those type of strikers are few and far between. I think how many strikers? I don't think, maybe Ronaldo, obviously Lewandowski. So they're talking about the top strikers at the top clubs. It's impossible. So we're gonna have to find a way to
bring Welbeck back. Not gonna lie.
Exactly, Danny Welbeck.
That guy Welbs.
I can't even lie. The way Aubameyang is playing right now, Welbeck would be more useful.
Stop it.
I can't even lie. Do you know why? It's because
because he presses. Allow it, bro.
No, it's not about just pressing. It's like a game like against Liverpool. In these big games, the ball goes up to Aubameyang. It's not sticking at all. We need someone who can at least stick. The ball can stick, or we can run.
If you said Giroud, I might have agreed with you, but you said
I'm not saying, bro. I'm not saying bring back Welbeck. I'm not saying bring back Welbeck. No. Don't get me wrong here.
Don't listen to Usmaan, man.
No.
All right. Semps, I want to ask you, because I spoke this morning actually with you about Dallow's performance, and you were fair, absolutely right. It's one performance. He's been sort of up and down his United career. Went on loan, he's come back, got his chance yesterday, and he's shone. How much of a, and I'll throw Tellers in this as well, because they don't really get much game time with the usual two left back and right back. How much of a confidence boost was this for them, considering how good the performances were?
I think the confidence boost is the fact that Ollie's gone now. not even so much that they put in a good performance. Because what the problem was before is we've seen it, and you know, I'm a big believer in the fact that these footballers need minutes. Yeah, you know, I always, you know, I speak to you a lot, Kojo, and I always say, oh, if Martial gets one game and then he's out for another 3 games, how do you expect him to perform?
Yep.
And that's what has happened for these lot. So when I said before as well how Dalot has been shocking, not shocking, but he's been suspect defensively, I do have to take into consideration that he hasn't had many minutes. Tellez hasn't had many minutes since he's come to the club. So that is going to impact them because they've never been able to build any consistency. Now, what I believe we're going to see is we're going to see them starting to get minutes. Carrick is shaking it up at times. Obviously, I think Luke Shaw's injured, right? That's why Tellez has been able to come in. And I think Wan-Bissaka was injured as well, which is why he weren't in the squad. But what they did do is they took their chance in a big game. And I definitely would. I was screaming for them to get minutes before anyway, because I think where Man United have been on such a bad run of form, you should not be rewarding these performances with more starts in next games. There's no point in having a squad if you're not going to rotate in the bad times. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's been a huge boost that I think Ollie's gone, and maybe they may now start to get minutes or get a chance to perform. And, you know, I've made some shouts about Wan-Bissaka in the past. I've stuck my neck out for him. But again, I'm at the point now where I have to accept that I'm not sure if he's going to last at Manchester United. I'm not sure if he's going to be the right back that we need going forward. Yes, I know you hate last ditch defending, Kojo. He's brilliant at that. But I do have to question his positional sense and stuff now. I'm seeing it more and more. And I think Dalot played very well, and Dalot has attributes that can really benefit us. Do you know what I mean? And Tellez as well. If I'm truly honest, I'm more than happy for Dalot to get a run. Tellez still needs to convince me because I'm not quite convinced of Tellez yet. But I still believe he deserves a chance, a shot to put some games together. And again, Luke Shaw's been poor all season, so why not sit out for a little while, let Tellez get some game time. So yeah, just to answer your question, I think it's a huge boost that they was in the team yesterday. They were solid. We won 3-2. They performed in a big game at Old Trafford, and we've not been performing well at Old Trafford. So I think they done themselves. They didn't do themselves any bad justice yesterday in front of the new manager. So going forward, yeah, man, I think they can definitely rest easy, or they would have rest easy last night.
And Usmaan, talking of the new manager, now obviously Carrick's come in. He did 3 games, didn't lose a game, which is very good for him. He's taking a break though, because it's 30 years of football essentially that he's been part of. So he needs a holiday, or a few holidays anyway. But Ragnick's come in and he's spoken about controlling games and, you know, having possession essentially in the opposition's half for most of the games and all that. So how important, and that's why I asked about Tellez and Dalot, because I'm very sure that he likes his fullbacks to go forward and contribute, but also be able to be good on the ball. Do you think those two have a big chance to line up in this team, considering the qualities they have, maybe over Wan-Bissaka and even over Luke Shaw as well?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I want to kind of point out is under previous managers, thou shalt not be named, under previous managers, you know, they were rewarding failure basically. Like Luke Shaw, the reason Luke Shaw became Roberto Carlos for that season and a bit was because of Tellez and Williams' competition in the team. You know, that made Shaw elevate his game, and then he became complacent. So that's why his standards dropped off a complete cliff. And it's the same thing with Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka, for me, first season he came in, I thought he was very good. Okay, granted, there were still glaring, obvious, you know, flaws in his game until going forward. But in terms of his overall game, he looked like someone who can improve. So for me, with Ragnick coming in, I think it is important that he does play Dalot firstly, regardless of Wan-Bissaka's fit or not, because Wan-Bissaka needs that kick up the arse, man, because he's just become very complex. He thinks his position is a given. And in terms of Dalot, on the ball, he's far superior than Wan-Bissaka. And as we've done a lot of tactical shows on, Ragnick likes his fullbacks to give him width. The width comes from the fullback. the sort of the front three, so to speak, the two wingers, they play as inverted forwards, so they're very far tucked in. So it's very integral for his system, for the likes of Delo, for the likes of Telles or Luke Shaw, to be prominent on the ball, very confident on the ball. You know, you see with Wan-Bissaka in particular, when he gets the ball, it seems like he's fighting with himself to make up his mind. Like, he's tackling himself off the game. Like, we don't even know what he's going to do. He doesn't know what he's going to do. I mean, it's just complete off the cuff. There's no real clear plan with him. Like, with most good fullbacks, they know before the ball's even got to them, okay, I'm going to take this man on. I'm going to beat my man. I'm going to cross it in. Or I'm gonna put my foot on the ball, roll it forward, and whip it in. Like, they know what they're gonna do before the balls arrive. Wan-Bissaka is literally improvising constantly. So for me, he needs to elevate his game a lot to get into this team under Rangnick and the way he normally plays. So in terms of control, it's gonna create more competition, because everyone's gonna have to improve. Otherwise, Rangnick is not gonna play him. So it's as simple as that, really.
Fair. You guys got anything more to say on this game? Because
I wanted to ask
Yeah.
the Man United player. So when Rangnick comes in, yeah, what do you see as the back four? You're gonna do the first choice back four, because I've seen a lot of criticism that Bailly, whenever he plays, really, he's been like, he's good against Chelsea, you know. So when he came in, and this Maguire guy gets a lot of leeway because he's the captain, but Maguire, like, Bailly makes some mistakes, but Maguire's been making mistakes since he turned up. So who you having in the back four?
I was saying, if it was a personal choice, for me, I was saying I would go for a back four of Telles, Dalot, Varane, and Lindelof, and that's only because I feel like with Rangnick's football, whether it's been Leipzig or it's been Schalke, Hoffenheim, I should say, rather, the idea has been, one, I like my defenders to have some sort of recovery. Now, Bailly is a faster player than Lindelof. He's got more agility, he's got more speed, he's quick on acceleration, but he hasn't got the ball playing quality to a higher level that Lindelof has. Lindelof's not very high, but he's got a higher level than Bailly, and I feel like he craves that more. And then with Varane's not going to be dropped. Varane is like the best defender at Man United, so that's point blank. And then
I was about to say.
I was about to say Premier League, and I realized there's another person that lives in Merseyside. And then you've got the fullbacks now. Luke Shaw had a great 18 months, but he's dropped off form. And the thing is, Telles has a lot more quality in terms of whipping balls in. He's good at set pieces because he's a set piece taker at Porto. Dalot is better going forward. So I was thinking with that and how he likes to go forward. And me and Usmaan saw how his shapes have been with his clubs in the past. He has two centre midfielders that are ready to also recover. So it's almost like you've got two, essentially, if it's like a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 or whatever it is, it suddenly becomes like a 4-2-2-2 going forward. You've got two men in the middle. Your wingers sort of become like almost number 10s. And then your fullbacks become your wingers. And then you've got those four as extra protection. So based off that kind of football that I think he was going to want to play, that would be the back four I think that would suit him. But you said it, Maguire's captain. I don't think he's going to lose the armband. Maguire he's a good ball player, but he's still not he's not trustworthy, and on counter-attacks, it could be hell.
He's got mistakes. He's got bad games in him. That's the problem with Maguire. Maguire played well yesterday, in my opinion.
He did.
I thought, and I was slating him before the game, but he played well yesterday. And that's just further cemented the fact that he's definitely not losing the armband. So we're gonna see him, and it's gonna be Varane and Maguire going forward. You know what I mean? But I agree with you, Kojo. If I was at the wheel, I would play Varane and Lindelof. And you know what about Lindelof, people? Lindelof is a good defender. You know, he is. He's a good defender.
I'm sorry, quietly, if I don't agree with that.
No, he is.
He's a good defender.
He's a good defender. His problem is he's not physical enough, and that's why he struggles in the Premier League.
The guy needs to get on the weights, bro. Man, he gets blown over.
That's
absolutely. He's not strong enough.
But I take that on board. But I'm not. I'm saying as a defender, he's good. He's good at reading the game. He's good on the ball. He's very good at one-on-one defending as well. It's just he gets bullied a lot in the Premier League, and I think if he was playing in Spain, I think he'll be one of the best. He'll be one of the best defenders there. But you know.
What about
Premier League
buying
is an
Varane?
animal.
What about buying Varane?
Yeah, for me, like Kojo, we've spoken it. I wouldn't even play Tellers, by the way. I'd actually go Luke Shaw. I know Tellers is doing better than him at the moment, but there's no denying that. But I just think Luke Shaw will find his feet again. He's just been well off form for me. But in terms of the centre backs, I think you're gonna play that high up the pitch. You need centre backs with recovery pace. Obviously, we use the example of Sergio Ramos in particular, not to compare it to Bayern before people try and miss. What I'm saying is Sergio Ramos. But when you watch Real Madrid and the likes of Barcelona playing in the heyday, Sergio Ramos was put in 1v1 scenarios a lot because they would overcommit the likes of Marcelo and Carvajal. Were allowed the license to roam forward as much as they want because they know they got the likes of Sergio Ramos and Varane behind them to sweep up basically. Again, Bailly's nowhere near him, but in terms of athleticism, Bailly's got the ability to get across and cover. I just don't trust Lindelof in a 1v1 scenario against any striker, basically, to go across and cover a further push down below. I just feel like he'd get exploited. One ball over the top into space where he's shoulder to shoulder against a player. I trust Bailly more for me personally, but that's just a personal preference, really, I guess.
You know what it is for me? The reason I just don't go for Bailly, and to be honest, I actually agree that Bailly probably would be a better partner because I was talking about recovery pace earlier, but he's not reliable enough, and that's as in terms of fitness. I can't trust him throughout a whole season, so I'd rather have a pairing that I know that 9 times out of 10 I can, or at least even 8, I can see them on the pitch. With Bailly, it's like, okay, he'll play this game, he'll be great, and you're like, okay, is he gonna be fit for the next game? I don't know, and that's where my worry is. I like him, but he's not. I can't depend on him too much throughout the season.
But you know what? We even with forget all of that, Usmaan. Don't tell me that you don't feel nervous when Bailly's playing, bro.
I love it, man.
Don't tell me you're not nervous.
Honest to God, I love it.
He keeps you on the edge of your seat, boy. Like you're just thinking, "Ooh, is a mistake coming now? What's he gonna do?"
The thing is with Bailly, he's crazy, though, isn't it? Like the opposition players going next to Bailly, you think they're scared of him as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. He has that fear factor because you don't know what he's gonna do. The guy's a lunatic, and that's what
I'm saying.
Bailly doesn't know what he's gonna do, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
he worries me, man.
Bro, against Chelsea, he did a bloody Ronaldo chop in our box. I was like, what is this guy doing?
Yo,
exactly. He pulled it off, but
he's got in his locker.
Yeah, but that's what you want, man. You need that flair, man. Go on, man.
From your centre back.
Go on, man. You need that flair, man, here and there, man. Just spice it up a bit, man.
The only reliable centre back for Man United is Varane. All of them can scare you on any given day.
Yeah,
true.
That's
true.
true.
Can we talk about Ben White very quickly? Because I missed that part of the show.
You just want to talk about Ronaldo did to him, innit?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I just need Kale's thoughts on Ben White. I mean, what a signing he's been. Just quickly before we move on. Like,
he has been a decent signing. We're currently fifth right now.
I mean, every time he's come up against a half a decent striker, he's been absolutely violated.
Oh well, I've always preferred Saliba, and he's coming back next year, so is what it is.
He's not coming back.
Also, he pocketed Harry Kane, bro. He pocketed Harry Kane in the derby, bro.
Arteta signs a lifelong contract. I love that guy, man. What a guy. What a manager. Top notch, man.
I mean, let's honestly, that I feel no interest in talking about all the other games because this is the most important game of the match week. So let's take this. I don't care about Liverpool versus Everton, bro. I don't think anybody here cares about Liverpool.
But what is I was saying to Abdi before the show started because me and Abdi were here first. I was saying that. Really and truly, I think everyone knew where this game was going, but it's a Merseyside derby. But this is why people like.
I said 4-0 Liverpool, man.
Boy, that's why someone like Steve can come and say he calls it Woodison Park. He disrespects the stadium first, and then he says it's a light work thing, and it was literally light work. And quickly, I'm just gonna say this right now: Jordan Pickford, Joe Hart number 2. Remember I said that.
Jeez.
No, but Pickford's never been good for Everton, but
I know.
Yeah, but is the the Merseyside derby, is it really an excitable derby? Like, come on, man. Like,
it's not been exciting for like 20 years.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's just two neighbors, having a chat outside the yard, cup of coffee. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Okay, let's go back to Arsenal. I'm gonna go back to Aubameyang. No, it's true. The truth. It's honestly.
Kale leaves his venting session. Kale.
It's not about event. I had my event. You missed it, bro.
Therapy, bro. This is therapy.
You missed it.
Therapy.
What's the first 10-15? But Aubameyang, Henry was angry on when he was doing the commentary about Arteta's decision to ship Aubameyang during the 75th minute. One, do you think it's right? And two, does it show that? Okay, that's one. And two, where do we go forward from here? Does Aubameyang sit out on the bench, or is it because he's simply captain? So
can I ask this from the outside? Can I ask this from the outside? I think for me personally, you shouldn't have given him a new contract. That's number one. And the reason I agree with that is because look, I think sometimes you got to see when the writing's on the wall for a player. You got to see the little things bit by bit. And when we started having debates about whether he's better on the left or as a striker, despite having his best years easily as a striker, that became an issue for me from the outside looking in. I understand he had a sort of like a productive year coming off the left side. People said he's done that in his game, but there's a difference being a left winger and there's a difference coming off the left but playing as a striker. Very big difference. And, for me, it's now Arsenal have signed a lot of players in the past that they've had these moments where you're like, we're going to push you up and then they don't get there enough. And he's got FA Cup. Sanchez got FA Cup. Ozil, I think, got FA. He got more than one FA Cup, actually.
He got all Wenger's FA Cups.
Yeah.
They're all FA Cup winners. But the idea is Arsenal are looking for players to not only win them FA Cup or whatever next, but they want them to push them up to the top four. And top four is difficult to get right now. In the same way people say, I expect this team to win the league. It is what it is.
Arsenal are fourth in London at the moment. Like, you've got Chelsea, West Ham, Spurs, then Arsenal, realistically speaking. Like,
but this is what I'm saying. Regardless, but the point is, Arsenal aside for 1 second, with someone like Aubameyang, the point is, with these players that they get, if they're not good enough to take you to that next level where you want to go up, because Arsenal have gone on a downfall. If Aubameyang's not the man to do that, Arsenal need to think very, very carefully about who they bring in next. I think, to be honest, and I'm gonna add these guys into it. I think Ben White's been a decent signing so far. I think Tavares has found his feet and he's doing well now. I think Lokonga's been looking decent so far.
He's been looking good. He's been better than decent.
He's been looking good. Tomiyasu had one or two shaky moments, but apart from that,
only Brighton game.
Yeah, he's been good also. So the signings have been good. So Arteta now needs to think and really look at something. Aubameyang's not the man for me.
Yeah, Ramsdale's been super.
Ramsdale, sorry, I forgot about Ramsdale as well. Yeah, so Aubameyang's not doing the job for me right now. Now, okay, I can't really say sell him now. It's January. Can we replace him? Whatever. But think very carefully about who you bring in next because he has to get moved on. Lacazette has to get moved on. Nketiah is not good enough to be Arsenal's next main man. Balogun is a young talent. I wouldn't put the pressure on him yet. But you can look at him, give him maybe 3 more years, see what he molds into. And if he's not the man, you got to let him go as well. Listen, Arsenal need to be ruthless. This is what it needs to come to. There's a lot of players that you still have that are surviving for no reason, and they should not be there. And whether you can replace them or not is another thing. But Aubameyang is one person that
it's exactly what I was saying earlier on. It's just like we're at the point now as Arsenal fans, we can't be expecting to be like these top 4, team or top 4 contenders when we've got the players at the moment that are not really capable of pushing us in that direction, or expecting the likes of Lokonga to be that guy straight away, the likes of Tevez to be that guy straight away. These players are going to need this season. They're going to probably need another season to really find their feet in the Premier League, and then we start seeing the talent. And then what is crucial is that next stage of players that are going to obviously add the additional quality. And that's where the likes of your Edus and the Artetas, they got to get it right, because if they don't get it right, wow, we're going to be stuck in the mud. So it's their job. They're the ones that are responsible for building this team.
Yeah. But to be fair, sorry.
No, I was just going to ask you, Kay, you may be able to answer, or any of the Arsenal boys. What is it about some of the Arsenal fans then that with chess will say that you guys are finishing top 4? Because this is why the anger comes into it, because really and truly, as you've said, the players aren't really there. You haven't got a striker that's scoring goals. You finished 8th last 2 seasons in a row. What is it that some of these Arsenal fans
I'll answer this because I think
Usman's smiling.
Look at him smiling over there. Look at you.
Directly at Cahill.
I'm just wondering, what is it that they're saying?
To clarify, I've never said with chess that Arsenal are guaranteed to get top 4. I said we are in a top 4 fight. We
No,
are
no,
there.
I didn't mean you, by the way, Kay.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Because there's been conflating the two. Ever since I mentioned top four, he thinks I'm saying Arsenal guaranteed
Oh,
top
I
four.
know what
It
you
is
said.
what it is.
My guy, don't worry.
It is cool, isn't it? My whole reasoning on this is that we are currently in the best position to do it. We have no European football, so in terms of game by game, we have players fresh. We're gonna injuries won't really play a part unless we're completely unfortunate. West Ham have to contend with injuries. I mean, you've seen the drop off recently whilst Ogbonna got injured. They don't want to say it, but Ogbonna got injured, and that he was vital to that team. And now they've dropped. They lost again. Who did they lose against? They lost against Wolves, and then they drew against Brighton. There are teams around us that everybody expects to get top four, like over Arsenal, like West Ham, like Spurs, and they don't have teams that are also good enough to consistently and get top four. So I don't understand why Arsenal, who have a good young team, but they are a good young team. I like Ben White, I like Tomiyasu, I like Lokonga, I like Ramsdale. They are eventually going to get top four. Not this season, maybe this season. I hope this season, but eventually these are the type of players that are going to get top four.
I disagree with that. I disagree.
I hear what you're saying, Cahill. I hear what you're saying, Cahill. But the thing is, Arteta, it's his choice to bring in all these young players. You know, there are good players who are experienced and old enough. You know, it is a team that is full of young players, and the senior players are playing poorly. I think the biggest issue, what everyone keeps ignoring right now, is the manager. It's the approach. We went 1-0 up yesterday and sat back after 20 minutes, bro. It's the manager.
Here's the thing, though. That I agree with that, but he's been coming out recently saying that it's not his ideal approach. He doesn't want the team to drop off after scoring, taking the lead. He wants them to go on. So is it? I know. I understand.
It keeps happening. It's either something.
Complete nonsense. The reason I don't agree with a lot of what you're saying is because, firstly, with the squad you've got a fairly good crop of young players. Fair enough. In 3 years' time, you might see the fruit of the labours. I honestly think this Arsenal team reminds me a lot of Man United 3 years ago. And just hear me out before let me explain it. So we was relying heavily. So our match winners were Rashford, Martial. To an extent, they were all very inconsistent. But I'm saying the people that we were hoping to bail us out: Rashford, Martial, and Pogba to an extent. And we had older heads that were nowhere near good enough at the club. And that is what I'm seeing, the complete mirror image with Arsenal. And this is why you need to listen. You're making the same mistakes Man United made. You're overhyping these players, and you're putting too much pressure on them. So people like Smith Rowe, for example, right, his development is going to get shot. I tell you right now, and I give it 6 months, right, Smith Rowe is going to be called a flop. The guy's 21. His development, his development, Saka's development, Lokonga's development, these guys could be good talent if they were a Man City team. If they were a Man City team, these guys would probably get to a very good level. But because they're your team, they're never gonna make it that high. The truth being is because it's not even listen. The reason is there's too much pressure on their shoulders. They're having to carry, and they're young players. It's not even a criticism of the player. I rate Martinelli. He was brilliant yesterday, by the way. But they're not consistent. Look at Rashford. Look at any young player in the world. They can give you 5 good games, but they won't be consistent. And the issue is you're so reliant on the young players in the team to deliver week in, week out. And that's not what a young player is. You don't get many young players to deliver weekly. And their confidence is eventually going to get knocked because mentally they're not mature enough to deal with it. And that is going to affect them in the long run. So for me, the issue is the senior players aren't senior. They need all of them need to be rooted out. You need proper leaders in the team. And the manager is an embarrassment. The fact that he's in charge of Arsenal Football Club, as a rival fan, even I get second-hand embarrassment. He's nowhere near good enough for Arsenal. He's overrated. And I will say it again, so it's on receipts. You're in a false position. Man United and Leicester have fallen off a cliff. if we were doing remotely what we expected this season, you'd be sat in 7th right
But
now.
Usman, Cahill's right though. You can only play what's in front of you in it. Like a lot of the times you was last year Man United. Oh, you're in a false position. That's not your. But hold on, that's not your fault. That's not the team's fault.
No,
we
well,
can
but
only do.
Let me tell you. Let me break it down like this, right?
Yeah.
Man United finished 2nd last season. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Me, Semps, Kojo will tell you we were not the 2nd best team in the league.
It doesn't matter though. You don't need to be the second best team. Go on.
Let me explain. People say the table does not lie, and I understand that saying, yeah, because I agree with it. However, the only reason we were 2nd was because Liverpool was shit and Chelsea were going through a transition. Right. Now Liverpool and Chelsea are on job. They're back. Where are we? We're 4th.
Okay.
So check this out. Check this out. Obviously, we are in a position, and I'll back what Cahill's saying. It's not our fault. Teams around us are not performing to their level. The players that we've got, they're going out there. They're doing what they're doing. So be it. If you're saying that your Smith Rowe's a 21, he's going to be shot. Whatever.
We're 7th right now, yeah. Because
but we're not.
But actually doing their job.
Listen to this.
Leicester aren't.
Listen to this. Leicester aren't. West Ham are dropping. Tottenham are not performing well. You guys are, a bit shaky.
On the weekend, they're above you, my guy. They're shit.
But have you not? Yeah, exactly. If you got to get the points,
and if we beat Everton, we go back above them.
Usman, all we can do.
I'm making is right.
You're not making a point because at the end of the day, the season, if you don't perform, if you don't step up to the plate, you don't get the points. That's your bag.
I'm telling you, you're not coming above Man United, Leicester this season.
No, you see, I'll go to what Semps said. You know what the problem is, yeah? When we start talking and saying, okay, we're giving you the pragmatic side in it. We're saying, look, our chances are there. We're not playing in Europe. We could sneakily get this top 4 because 4th position is not solidified. 1, 2, 3 is. That's guaranteed. We know that, innit? 4th, it could be possible. And what we're saying is we should even be 5th. In your eyes, we shouldn't even be 5th right now.
We should be 9th in Usman's eyes right now. That's the problem.
If the teams around us do not perform, let me give you fair warning to you guys, yourselves as Man United fan. If you do not perform this season and you don't grab onto that top 4, the likes of Arsenal's, your Leicester's, or your West Ham's, or Tottenham's. If we come 7th, then so be it. But what we're saying is that the opportunity is there, so you don't need to get a hold of that top 4. That's your problem. If you slip, we're taking that.
You're right. It is our problem.
Gerard.
No, you're right. It is our problem. But the point I'm making is similar to Man United. I'm using Man United as an example because our fans are the most deluded fan base without doubt. So our fans last season, when we finished 2nd, they thought in their head that Ali has progressed us. Okay, so basically our fans are saying we finished 2nd.
It's very different.
It's very different. You see, if we make
the exact same.
If we make,
it's not the exact same.
Listen, Usman. We finished 8th two years in a row. Yeah.
Okay,
if we was to grab, if we grabbed 4th. Bro, it's different. It's not a situation it's like, oh, we're 2nd. We don't believe we're 2nd. We've made Champions League qualification. That is a different bag. That's
especially considering where we were last year.
Yeah, I'm saying
this time last year we were battling relegation.
I hear that you're trying to compare the both teams, yeah. But it's totally different. The position that we're in right now,
it's false.
It means a lot for us if we was able to get that, even if we just get in Europe.
Usman, is the position Man United is the position that Man United is
United and Leicester are well below par.
Usman,
no.
Answer Abdi's question. I'm just going to ask you something.
Is Man United's position 4th then?
What is in this season right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we must be underachieving.
Well, why? Based on what?
And we're overachieving.
Based on what? You got slapped by Watford. You be getting slapped. Based on what?
And also Leicester.
Serious?
Have you seen?
No.
Have you seen our team and you think we should be signed?
Yeah.
But they've got to perform though. It's not a given. It's not Usman. You can't just go black. Oh, just because you're Man United, you've got to perform. You've got to perform.
Life is given, yeah. Nothing in life is given. We agree with that, okay. But what I will say is, right, hand on heart, all of us sat here right now believe that Man United had a proper competent manager, we should be above Arsenal. Based on the paper. Of course,
we understand that. But what we're saying,
no, but Usman, if it's some butts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. Fam, I don't understand what you're talking about. It's just because if you had a good competition, but you don't. You don't have a competent manager. Now you do.
Let me explain in the most layman.
Let me jump in. Let me jump in.
No,
and
no. I want Usman to
Go on,
simplify it for
man.
me.
I was gonna
I
second
want
the team.
Usman to
Go on.
simplify it for me,
I'm
please.
taking all the time. So last season, 13 games into the season last season. You can go back. Guess who was in the title race last season? After 13 games, guess. Tottenham.
What, Spurs?
Apparently, Tottenham Hotspur were in the title race after 13 games last season. Where did they finish? It's about 8th, 9th. I don't even know where they finished.
Okay,
7th, 8th.
okay. But are we Tottenham?
It's 14 games. I mean, brother, you may as well be Tottenham. You're falling that deep. Like, it's no difference. Like,
We haven't, but
Tottenham
okay.
Arsenal, same difference at the moment.
we
Red,
haven't.
white, white, yeah.
We hear
It never gets
you.
that deep,
We
bro.
hear you.
You might as well be Leeds. How far are you falling, to be honest with you?
Listen,
Whoa!
we're gonna be a
Is that what I came back to?
my guy. Don't worry.
And
I
also,
disappear for a minute. I hear you might as well be Leeds.
Where's this Leicester? Where's this Leicester talk coming from? Leicester have been dead this season. They
They've
can't
been
defend.
horrible.
Leicester-
You can't use that. That's no, Osman. Here's the thing. That's why I can't understand. We are currently 5th. Yes, Leicester haven't been performing well. Yes, Tottenham haven't been performing well. Yes, United haven't been performing well. But Arsenal have been performing decently. And decently, we are currently in a top 4 race. So why can't you accept that? I don't understand it. We are currently in a position.
That's the issue. That's the issue. You don't want to hear us say that. We're not saying that. We're not saying that we're going to get top 4.
Invite me back into the show in 3 weeks' time when you're 8. Please, I beg. When you're 8.
Listen,
Alright,
if
Man United fans-
we're 8th, we're 8th. Listen.
They scammed the win last night with Ronaldo with a stupid
Who
penalty.
scammed
All of a sudden, they've got all this energy, bro.
Abdi,
It
for
could
the
have been a
short
draw.
time I've known you, you are better than that. You are better than that, Abdi.
I'm not saying
Okay.
we're good, yeah. I'm not saying we're good, yeah. I'm not. But it should have been a draw last night, yeah. You can't say Man United dominate. You can't say Arsenal dominate, yeah. We gave you a easy penalty,
Bro,
and you scored, yeah?
it should have been a whole bunch of
It should
things.
have
But
been
the simple fact of the matter is they got the 3
I don't know
points.
where the energy
I think we lost. That's it.
We lost,
I
yeah.
think we
We
deserve.
lost.
I think we deserve
Yeah,
the
we
3
lost.
When they
points.
beat us last season, when Aubameyang was dancing, I didn't hear none of this. Oh, we should have been a
Yeah,
draw.
because we
penalty
slapped you, bro. We went to
I
Old
was at the
Trafford
game.
and had a jolly
I
up,
didn't hear
bro.
none of that chat,
You were
bro.
not at the game. It was empty ground, bro. What are you talking
Look,
about?
Usman,
I was at the game, you know. What? You're the one person they allowed in here. You're the steward.
I'm finished.
I was there.
I'm finished. Usman, all you need to do is accept that Arsenal are currently in the top 4 battle.
Let me
That's what you need to do.
let me
I'm
jump
not
in.
saying I'm not saying we're going to win. We're not going to finish top. I'm not saying we're going to finish top 4, but we are currently in that battle.
Let me
Let
jump in.
Semps-
What-
let
what-
Semps
But
finish
you'll be in that
this.
top 6 battle with us.
Let me jump in.
Let
Let me jump in. Usman, tech time, rude boy. Tech time. Let me
He's
say
fighting
this.
everybody.
What I think Usman is trying to say is last season, when Manchester United was second and we finished second, we did not believe we were the second best team in the league because for us it was false positions, yeah? i.e. Liverpool weren't Liverpool last season and Chelsea weren't Chelsea. So when it comes to Arsenal at the moment, being in the position you are in at the moment, you are 100% at this present time in a top 4 race. Yeah. Will you be in a top 4 race come February? We don't know. At the moment, you are in a top 4 race. This conversation really can only happen at the end of the season to see where you finish. But what I would say is, and I'm relating it back to Manchester United, and I believe this is what Usman is trying to say, is it can give you a false position, a false, like you can sort of think that you're progressing, but you're not if the other teams around you are not performing. And I always said with Manchester United, so I know you want to come in, Cahill, but let me land. With Manchester United, I always said to really see if we're progressing, I want to go toe-to-toe with the best teams when they are on top of their game. That's where I would be able to measure us and judge us on whether we've progressed or not. This season, we have seen Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City at the top of their game, and you can see Manchester United nowhere near. Now, how will we be able to judge Arsenal is you're not in that top 4, really. You know what I'm saying? But you're more like 5th, 6th, or 7th. So it would really be, it's going to be hard because we're probably never going to get a season where everybody's cooking on gas. But it's how do you lot fare when Spurs haven't sacked their manager? They're cooking on gas. You know what I'm saying? All of these Man United are cooking on gas. Where will you finish in that type of season?
But here's my counter to that. you're
Last point,
assuming,
last point.
Bro, I'm enjoying this, isn't it? You're assuming that Spurs are going to be back. You're assuming that Leicester are going to be back. You're assuming that West Ham can continue this form magically, even though, yes, I do agree they were in the top 4 race last season, but they did drop off and they bottled it and they ended up finishing 6th last season. Am I lying?
No.
So these are all the teams that you're assuming are going to come back and completely just erase us from this top 4 picture. But if I tell you that once January hits, Arsenal under Arteta, historically, that's when Arsenal really hit their form and hit their stride. This year, we have currently put ourselves in a position right now to continue this run of form, to continue challenging for the top 4. But all I'm hearing from you guys is the point, you're Arsenal, you're about to drop off. And that doesn't make sense to me. We are currently performing better than Leicester. We're currently performing better than United, better than not better than West Ham.
It won't last. It's not sustainable.
But here you go. But boom.
Yeah, you're giving everybody else credits. You're giving everybody else credit, but you're discrediting us.
For me, I'm not actually discrediting Arsenal. I'm just saying because I don't know where you lot are going to be come February.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying, and that's why I said at the end of the season is probably when I would have this conversation.
Absolutely.
To see how you lot have performed, how the season has gone, and whether it's sustainable. Because I think that's the word that I like to use is sustainable. And for me, Manchester United's form wasn't sustainable. To finish second when your other teams are falling off isn't sustainable going forward. You know, I think it was Abdi that said, or it might have been Cahill. No, it was Cahill that said it, that you lot will get top 4 over the next few years. And I disagreed because until you see real progression, it's not going to be sustainable.
Yeah, that's different.
And also, you've still got to then infiltrate all of the other teams. And this is what I'm saying. You have to then hope that one of them have a bad season, and that's out of your hands.
That's the key thing that you said there, hope. Because we know where our teams are in it. We know where our teams are. And like you said, when you lot finish second, although you say that you wasn't the second best team, but you still finished second. Our hope is just like if you guys don't buckle down and get this top 4 position, and if it's available to take, and we end up finishing 4th, and we're not the best 4th team in the league, we don't care. We qualify for Champions League. And that's the point we're trying to say. We're just saying it's like where we're at right now. If we continue with this form, we're in that challenge for the top 4, and we didn't think that at the beginning of the season there was no way we could even talk about like maybe possibly challenging, and that's why I want to see Arsenal at. If we don't make it and we finish a 6th, 7th, we were trying to push for that top 4 rather being like 12th and then trying to push for 8th. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask you a question off the back of that? I'm sorry, Coach. I feel like Coach wants to move on. Sorry, I'll stop.
He wants to go to bed.
I want to go eat chicken.
Sorry, my bad. I'm not.
Okay, I just want one last thing. Please. It's not gonna be a long one. It's not gonna be a long one.
Let Usmaan finish. What was you gonna say?
No, I want steps because I'm gonna start it off again. So
yeah, Usman's gonna be long. I'm not gonna be long. Yeah.
All right, cool.
One thing, is it's all about longevity and sustainability is what I've been saying. Manchester United finished second last season. We're struggling to finish top 4 this season. So the point I've been trying to make in all of this is that if Arsenal do finish top 4, then what happens the next season, the season after that? Because it's not always about this now. It is about progression long term. That's
do you know the situation is? Yeah, quick one. Finishing top 4 will just allow us to get the more quality players, the additional players that we're saying that we need, the ones that if we can move on. So that's the difference, and this is what we're saying. If we're able to get into that 4th position, it changes the dynamics of like when we go in the transfer window with players now saying that we want to play for because you're in the Champions League, rather than trying to go for like your Dusan Vlahovic's and the man saying, bro, I don't want to go to that team. You're not in Champions League. You know what I mean? So that's the difference.
I'm done. I'm sorry, Kojo.
No, you know what? It was even jokes. I'm calm with it. Don't worry about that. But I'm hungry. So
yeah. My water's done.
I want everyone to plug themselves because that was a beautiful podcast. To be fair, I enjoyed I missed that Arsenal Man United chaos. I've missed it for years, so I needed that.
We didn't even get onto them that bad, really. We was calm with them, you know. It was calm.
Yeah, 8-2 and then
hold on. You two were calm. There's a certain man bottom right that wasn't, but it is what it is.
I love Kill so much. I had to kill it.
All right. Abdi, please plug the podcast. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. So as you can see there, we'll talk WTAT official. We drop every Wednesday 8 a.m. on all platforms. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at the same handle as well. And just lastly, I want to say, Usmaan, you're sicko, but it's very entertaining.
Love, bro.
All right. Dishiki.
Yo, Kojo, thanks for having me on, man. Cahill, thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, man, Dashiki Dash, a dash of sports. It's where I talk about all things sports related, hot topics and trending stories. And then obviously I cover Premier League games, predictions on a weekly basis, and previews and reviews and all of that. A dash of sports is like all sports as well. So boxing, Formula One, darts, anything that's just hot and trending, I'm following in it. I'll chat about it. So yeah, man, just log in. Obviously, Semps has been on the shows and stuff, and yeah, man, love as always. Appreciate it, man.
Quick question: has darts ever been trending?
Hey, you'll be surprised, man. This one lady right now, she is killing the mandem.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she's killing the mandem. Like
She coming for the Power Taylor.
Bro, she's strong. Let's just go and check her out, man. She's strong. Yeah.
I'm coming, bro. I want to start 180 again. All right, come. Usmaan, my brother, go for it.
Yes. Firstly, shout out to the Mandem. Thank you for having me on. I'll be back in 3 weeks. Make sure you subscribe when after So make sure you subscribe to Code. These guys are basically a family. Just in case you don't know, me and Kale, we're like boys in it, so it's all love and that. But I'm going to at 9 o'clock. A bit more calm, tactical show. So, and also, follow me Usmaan Talks United on Twitter and YouTube. And we're going to do this 2.0 on Monday. So, us will be in about 7th then as well. So, that should be a good show.
Bro, if we're in the top 4, I'm coming for your neck, innit?
Yeah, this is going to be straight after Everton, 10 o'clock.
We're not going to let you rest if we're in the top 4 coming into the season.
Fam, I'm going to be saying it's top 4. I'm going to be saying top 4 every time you speak.
All the
swinging a shirt.
Don't worry.
Semps, my bro, go for it.
Yeah, man. Just first of all, thanks for having me. Big up everybody in the cut. It's been a pleasure to meet you, Abdi. Pleasure to be back on the podcast with you, Cahill. And seeing your sour face, it was a pleasure. But no, man, I'm at L Semps on Twitter, at Views TV Official on Twitter and on Instagram, YouTube as well. Views TV Official. We land 8:30 p.m. every Sunday to just give you a roundup of the week's games. And yeah, man, as I said, please, if you are here watching, like, subscribe to Free in Midfield. Big up Kojo and Cahill every time.
Love for that. Kel, since I introduced, do you wanna finish it?
Yeah, you can find us. Finish? Or you can find us Free Midfield, of course, on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. Apparently now you're just setting up bear accounts, bro. That's the
bear accounts. Might as well.
I appreciate. But yeah, you can follow us Free in Midfield.
That's right. And this has been another episode of the Free Midfield podcast. Soon.
Oh, this guy.